Well, speaking of what they say, did you all see that Andre Harrell passed away and Little Richard?
No.
I saw that, and I'm like, okay, I wonder if they're talking about that Andre Harrell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't know if it was COVID related. Little Richard had cancer. He was 87 and his was cancer. His son confirmed his was cancer.
mm,
Haven't heard anything about what Harrell's was.
mm, mm,
But
yeah,
I just know when you say what they say, and I just think about, him kind of doing both of them kind of doing it their own way.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Remember them both. Remember them both, because now he's Andre Harrell is responsible for Puff Daddy.
And
Right.
Mary J.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
Jay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's not right. Hmm. All right, well, that is what we wanted to share with you, and it worked for us because you want to perform and then stop and listen, and your blessing comes in what you hear and what you see in everyone's countenance. Because Zoom is real cool for that, as long as you remember your delay. It's like, okay, man, they ain't hearing it as soon as you say it. You give it a couple of seconds, and then you'll see, yeah, you'll see that they got it. So I appreciate you for many things, man. But most of all, just being able to see you and know who all of you are in the room, and be able to basically see my life, because I see my life as I go from the left side to the right side, past, present, and future. And the idea, what has been shown to me, is the circle of life is a continuum. And what you want to do, man, is keep everybody who has ever been part of it. You want to keep them near and dear. And boy, if you can ever get them all together, you do that. So there have been many things that have come out of this COVID-19 circumstance. But for us, I have had 51 days, man, to sit down and dream and plan and figure out what I'm going to do when we get back to normal, to make sure that whatever that normal is, I'll be the antithesis of that normal whenever it is decided. So a lot of what you're seeing now, we're going to actually do this summer in this virtual space, but we'll try to do it the same way we would do it if we were all in the same room. Everything I'm doing is purpose towards discipleship. So when I'm out in the real world where they think discipleship involves space alien creatures and reprogramming, I call it fellowship, but it's the same thing. You're trying to intentionally build relationships with people who might be a little relationship averse. So in the high school that I work in, I work with young people every day that want to be on a phone, and we teach in an online program. So we pull them off the phone and stick them in front of a computer. And all the mind gets stuck in front of a computer to deal with and engage math, which they would rather have a hole in their sneakers than deal with math. So that gives us a tricky landscape to work in, but it helps me get better at what I'm doing, to figure out how to relate to them, knowing that I'm the guy who teaches the stuff that they can't stand more than they can't stand anything else. And it works. It definitely works, because she's in the class of 2032. So I said, well, I guess I might be retiring as a teacher the year that she graduates, and I will be the 64-year-old daddy that everybody thinks is her granddaddy. So I will try my best to just be dressed appropriately and kind of young and not play the stereotype, because they're going to call me her granddaddy. I get it. I get it. But that's okay.
How are you using this as a part of your instructional strategy in the math classroom?
Oh, no, because I would have been fired very quickly. Very quickly. What I do, and the crisis, if you will, created a great opportunity for me. Now that we're not at school, whenever a kid calls me, they can call me and we can just talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I can mess around and actually talk to them about something besides math, which might let us mess around and actually engage and relate to each other about something that they like.
So that you can get them back to the math.
Yeah, and we'll get them back to the math. Now, what I do in the classroom, since I'm on the government's dime there, I have developed a lot of stuff that says, okay, well, given they are either on that phone or on that computer, how can I interrupt them just enough to have conversations, and have conversations that are somewhat related to what we are studying? So I have developed this series of crossword puzzles, and I published a batch of them probably after I had been there about a month. I walk around with a crossword puzzle on a clipboard, and the puzzles are called final exam. And every question on the puzzle is what we would call a word problem. And it's a word problem that is not tied to any of the courses that they are in. It's tied to stuff that I know is real world stuff.
But it's math.
Yeah, if I'm selling t-shirts at the flea market, right? And I paid $5 for them, and I sold them for $10, and I sold 100 of them. How much did I make? God, please tell me you made $500.
500.
Please tell me you made $500.
D Brown, you know what, D Brown?
I know
You
math.
know math.
I know math. I know math. And trust me, see, as easy as that problem might sound to everybody on this call, that one ain't obvious. Oh, that one ain't obvious. So what I do, based on teaching strategies I have learned, is I remediate with that same problem. Next time, go ahead.
But let's be realistic. Even with a lot of adults, that's not going to be obvious because they don't. So when people hear revenue, they don't understand there's a difference between profit and, even though they're two different words, many adults don't get the delineation between profit and revenue.
Yeah. So the best feedback I get from the kids, now, in perfect world, the best feedback is you get the problem right. But the best feedback I get from them is when I ask them a question that they have seen before, and they come at you like, why you keep asking me about figuring out how much money I'm making?
Because that's what your life's going to be about, baby.
You don't answer. I don't even answer them. I just say, look, man, I'm old. This is just all I got. That's all I got. So if you will indulge me, I'm going to keep coming to you with this until I come up with something better. Is that all right? It's all right. It's all right.
Well, I was going to say, now, you and I have a little different strategy because when I was in the K-12 classroom, I would eventually have some of the ones who gave me the most trouble come out. We know you really ain't mean now, that you just have high expectations and you want a lot. You just seemed really mean initially. I told y'all I didn't care. That they was gonna give me the same check, whether y'all thought I was mean or nice. You get to decide how we gonna do this. We can do this easy or we can do this hard. I got practice at doing both. You pick. I don't care.
And Wendy, now the other thing I did that just went over with them very well is, see, they are prone to making mistakes.
Oh, really?
So I have written a batch of problems called My Bad.
But you know what? It's so different than the textbook. Well, we don't really have textbooks no more. But the textbooks that I enjoyed the most were the ones that had where's the problem? What's the problem? Because you know what? They learn so much more from having to figure out what went wrong than trying to get the right answer.
Yeah. Well, what happens with these now is I purposely make a mistake and say, hey, I put the decimal point in the wrong place and wrote a check for $8,000 instead of $800. How much money have I given away? I gave away $7,200. Oh my God!
Too much.
Way too much.
But watch now. But see, that shows them in an even-handed fashion. Hey man, there's a cost for not knowing what the heck you're doing. All right, there's a cost, but you let them see it instead of saying it. You show them, you don't tell them, and they get it, and they'll let you tell them again when they're the ones who say, "Oh, wait a minute." Now, what's funny is when there's a purposeful mistake, that's when they mess around and actually do the problem right, and you just laugh like, "Okay."
I'm gonna give you real world because you got a person sitting there beside you that So when we used to go to the store, and I was just using a card or either using my own cash, I have twins. One shows up, and my rule is I got a price point for what I'm willing to pay for a shirt, for what I'm willing to pay for shoes, what I'm willing to pay for whatever. And so I tell you what my price point is. If you come to me with something that's above and beyond the price point, you're going to need to tell me why I should pay more for this since it's above and beyond my price point. I had one child that would just show up. Oh, mommy, I want this. How much it cost? I don't know. Then why are you talking to me? I'm not talking to you. You know what the rule is. You can't tell me how much it is. I can't talk to you. So when they got in the 8th grade, we started putting money in their hand for school. We weren't going to decide. And so it was interesting to see the turn in how money was perceived when it actually had to flow, even though you didn't earn it, when it had to flow out of your hand.
Yeah.
Now you can buy, I gave you $500. You can buy one piece, 5 pieces, or 10 pieces. I don't care how many pieces you buy. This is the money you have for school. Figure out what you want. And if you decide you want 5 pieces, those are the 5 pieces you have for school. It was amazing how much. I can't believe these people want this much they want this much money for this thing. Really? Because when I was the one just paying with my card, the money was coming out of my physical hand, you didn't seem to care.
Yeah.
But you know, and so that's what I'm thinking. Because after a while, I was like, oh, this is just good to me. So yeah, mommy, I can't believe they want this much for this. I can't either, girl. I can't either. But it's amazing when people have to have their own experience. And again, this wasn't even, Lord, when they started earning their own money, all those conversations went to a whole nother level. But when the money actually had to leave their hands and they had to make the decision and were told there was going to be no more, they became much more in tune with the impact of their financial decisions.
Yeah. Look, I'm gearing up for that pathway now with my little scholar here. But she's pretty sharp, man. Johnny, she knows math, man.
I would be upset if she didn't with you and her mama.
Yeah, she knows math, and she gets it in a very honest and balanced way. Because see, mama is pretty formal in her approach and regimented, and that is freestyling, and that is about money. It's just figure out how much money you got or how much money you need. So we're gonna start on the rule of 72 soon now, because I get a lot of traction with that with my students. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got $1,000 and you invested at 12%. How long does it take for 1,000 to become 2,000? Boy, when you tell me 6 years, I'm like, okay, you are on your way. You remember that? You can jack everything else up, but just remember that one. I'll be all right. All right, family. We're going to sign off now so I can let this young'un go and get herself something to eat. And I'll be in touch with you again. I'm supposed to be doing this for my 50th birthday, which is actually tomorrow. So if anybody's around, I'll shoot you another invite. If you got some time to come back tomorrow, we'll do it all again tomorrow, but it'll look different. I'll have the music on and have that situated tomorrow. But I appreciate you coming. I love all of you. And I thank you. Thank you for just being able to see your faces.
Appreciate it, Barry.
All right. Y'all take care.
All right. You take care.
All right.